You need to find what you're good at. And as easy as that sounds, when you get into real estate, all you're thinking about is closing a deal. Once you have a deal in your hand, you can call, and you could literally, to start your career, post a good off market deal on Instagram, Facebook, reach out to any agent saying, bro, I got an exclusive off market. Once you get the good deals, there's no shortage of end for investors. You could reach out to any agent, you could put it on any investment platform, the investors will be lined up.
We know all real estate agents want to acquire clients consistently so that they can grow their business and income for that great lifestyle. This broadcast brings you the best and top people in the industry to support that quest. This is Dave Finale, and I'm here to bring you the Real Estate Skill Builder broadcast, Real Estate Talk TGIF, brought to you by Real Estate Skill Builder and Align, your premier real estate solution. Hey man, you've got a journey that's really interesting. How you started, where you came from, different countries, etc. Talk to me about your journey. Wherever you want to talk, where you want to start. I mean, it could be from anywhere, but how it got you to where you are today.
I got you, bro. So basically, I was raised in an entrepreneurial family, always driven, always never wanted to settle. I was always raised not to settle. It was like, there's no limit to when you want to achieve something. So working with my dad. He was in hospitality, real estate. I always saw the things he was doing, but I always wanted to make it on my own. So I decided when I was living in the US, I got jobs at restaurants when I was young. I was always saving money to put in little things, like, not investing at that time, but just like entrepreneurial mindset. When I got to a certain age, I had told myself I wanted to start investing. So my father, my younger brother, and I made some investments in India, which we got, we lucked out. We did really well with those. Then when I wanted to start investing in the US, I always like to know the game before I get into it. That's when I got my real estate license. And from there, it's history, man. I realized the kind of individuals that I wanted to work with. And of course, my hospitality background. Managed my dad's hospitality business for 20 years, opened 17 franchises for him across India. So all of that incorporated in my mind as an entrepreneurial mindset. And from there, I just kept going, man. That's it.
So when you say opened up 17 franchises, what kind of franchise were they?
They were Indian restaurants. So my father and his brother own a chain of restaurants in India, which now is about 42 restaurants. So basically, back when I was there in 2000 and I think 15, when I went back to India at that time, my dad was in the mode of expansion, but they were doing company owned, company operated business models. So I
Right.
took their business models and converted them into franchise owned, company operated models where the expansion was much quicker. And we were able to expand all over India just by franchising the outlets, but still be in control of the quality. And they own Indian restaurants, so it was very easy to expand. So what they weren't able to do in like 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 20 years, in 4 years, I opened up about 17 restaurants in different states for them with
That's just
my
because is
with
it
the
because you
knowledge of experience.
standardized and systemized and processitized, so to speak, right?
Yes, so it was going from laying out the groundwork of franchising, like I told you when we were chatting a few days ago as well, where the brokering businesses is what I learned when I was doing that. It 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 flows a lot into real estate, what I'm doing now as well, because brokering businesses, real estate transactions, working with investors, you're still doing that, whether it's a piece of property they're going to buy for an investment. To them, it's a business, So I
Yeah.
learned a lot from them. I learned a lot of the brokering business side, and I have said it to people before. If I hadn't franchised those restaurants and the working with one of the top companies in India. It's called it's a franchising company in India and National Franchise of India. So what they do is they franchise businesses. I work with the
Okay.
top execs to franchise my dad's businesses in India, restaurants. that's where I learned how the higher ups actually broker businesses. It's not just like like they would gain the trust, they would be honest, they would lay out the groundwork, they would do the research, their hustle was impeccable. All of those things are what matter in success. Unlike some of the lazy fucks we know that basically, I'm sorry for the language, I have a dirty mouth, shut me up whenever you want.
Go,
So
man. Anytime. It's all good.
so a lot of the lazy fucks that we have in every business where people think that success comes overnight or you can just get into it and start uh, get into real estate, get my license, set up my own timings, and start doing that. No, you got to build a reputation. You got to build trust. You got to build relationships. For me, that is the number one key. Relationships, relationships, relationships. Without that, no one can succeed.
So you got into real estate because you wanted to invest in real estate. Is that right?
Yes. In the US, yes.
Right. So you get into real estate, and what happened is, how did you get started? You wanted to invest, so you got your license. So talk
Yep.
to me about it from there, and what your process was, how you progressed.
Yeah. So when I got my license, I was lost in the beginning in a way. I wanted to invest. So I got my license just to learn the investment game, working with end users, how the brokerage goes, all that. I was never planning on sticking to just having a real estate license and being a realtor. Even though I don't call myself that, I call myself an investor specialist. I call
Right.
myself an entrepreneur, but we are, by end of the day, licensed real estate agents. So when I got into it, I was told by some really great brokers that you need to find what you're good at. And as easy as that sounds, when you get into real estate, all you're thinking about is closing a deal. You're not
Right.
thinking about shit that I want to fucking work with investors. Because a guy like us who wants to always be on the top is like, yo, how do I get the deal? How do I get the deal? How do I get this deal going? But so when I got into it, I had no handouts, no friends gave me businesses, no family members. My family's all either in Georgia or India. So I've never had anyone be like, I got this guy that wants to list a home. So I got onto lead generators. When I got onto lead generators, I think we were briefly talking about that one of those stories where I developed a great relationship with one of the guys that reached out to me on Op City. Reached out to me on Op City. He was like, he's got $100,000 budget. I couldn't find him something. I nurtured it, nurtured it. After a while, when I kept in touch with him, one day he tested me by reaching out to me and saying, I want to buy this home for my mother in law. See what you can do about it. We went in, it was in Manchester, New Jersey, got the home about thirty to $40,000 lower than asking, scored him a deal. As soon as that home closes, he goes up to me. All right, you did good on this one, kid. Now sell my Beechwood house. That's when I got into real estate. I was trying to just close the deal in the beginning, but I knew I always wanted to learn how to make my own investments. I realized that there is a very big gap in our industry of agents that are out there door knocking and cold calling and getting those exclusive deal. As easy as it sounds, everyone preaches cold calling and door knocking. But
Right.
I certainly believe there is a way to do it. There is a time to do it. And there are homes that you got to go for. And the number one way to do it when you want to be known in the off market game or wholesaling game is not to have greed for your investors. Because the more you feed your investors deals, sometimes I've seen wholesalers. Well, this is all the things I watched. Some top wholesalers I was watching, they would get a piece of property for 300,000. The ARV in the area was $550,000. The home needed about $100,000 worth of work. They would be like, you know what? I'm still gonna keep 60,000 on top as a wholesale fee. Now, what happens by the end of that is your investors are not making any money. So, yes, in your one deal, you ended up making a lot of money. But then your wholesalers are going to be like, man, that Ankur is all about money. He's not loyal to his clients. That is where I myself started realizing, first of all, I don't want deals that are blasted on Facebook, I don't want deals that are blasted on email chains. None of my deals are ever that. My deals are a phone call. I will always call my clients. I have 8 or 9 investors that I work with, maybe, yeah, 8 or 9, and they get calls from me. I know their pools. We've built it soft pools of funds where we know where to hit. So every time I
Right.
get a piece of real estate, I'm not blasting it on social media. If I know I'm going to make less money in this deal to feed my investors, I'll make sure I make less money, but my investors make the money they're supposed to make. That is how they stay loyal to you. That is where I started building the name of off market, because I was out there getting deals. When people started realizing that Ankur's investors are so loyal to him, I would have individuals just day and night, even now, reaching out and telling me, we got this deal, we got this deal. And I told you, I think when we were joking, my investors would invest in hell, bro, if they had to. They don't care. If I can get them a deal, and when I, believe it or not, most times when I even send them a deal, the faith that we have in each other is more like, Ankur, just go take pictures. If you like it, we'll get the deposit in, let's get the property. You say the word. So
Right.
that is where I started getting into it.
So you have these 8 to 9, 8 to 10 investors that you work with now, and they trust you because you're not a greedy son of a bitch. And what I say
Yeah.
that is what I say that is because a lot of people a lot of people want to be investors. They want to be flippers. A lot of people get their licenses just because they want to be an investor. They don't want to be a real estate agent. But that kind of changed for you because you became a realtor,
Yep.
and it also helped your business as you really understood the business and started listing and selling homes and stuff. The question really is, okay, so you have all these investors that you're working with, but how did you start? I mean, you didn't have shit in the beginning. You didn't have anybody to deal with in the beginning. How did you start getting involved and meeting these people? Because that is the key to what you're doing and how you're doing it. Talk to us about that.
It's networking, man. That's it. You got to go to networking events. It's not bullshit. When you get into real estate, open houses, networking events. Well, if you want to be a listing agent, if you want to work with end users, go into open houses. For me, as an investment, I was going to networking events. I was going for dinners. I found the money people, started hosting them, started taking them out, showing them my value. And I'll be honest to you, man, I think when we had that first meeting in Hoboken, I told you in the beginning, literally there was times when I wouldn't even have buyers. I would knock on doors and be like, I have a buyer ready. And I would just literally, I guess you can say fake it till you make it. I took a couple of risks. I knocked on doors and I was like, hey, on Zillow, I would find homes that I've been on for a long time. And people that work with me know I did that. I would call those homes and I would be like, listen, I got these buyers. They're ready to go. They're investors. They're going to buy your home within a heartbeat. You've been on the market for 174 days. What can we do? I will go there, strike a deal without a buyer, and get it done. So for me, networking events and building a reputation of a guy that's out there getting it helped me out a lot, a lot, a lot. So you need to network in the area that you want to work in. If you're an end user, go to networking events where you got buyer leads, where agents are going for that. If you want to work with investors, go on investor based networking events, because every investor is looking for their next hustler to start working with them, for them, and making investments for them. Because when you reach a level of success, they want people like us that are like, yo, Ankur is my guy. He's my man. He's going to get it done for me. That is what helped me a lot. Once I
Uh-huh.
started building that reputation at networking events, showing individuals that I got the hustle, telling people in the beginning as well, listen, I don't have any credibility in real estate. Let me just hop on with you. I will take $0 commission. I just want to hop on this deal with you to learn. I want to learn from you. And that showed the people that I was working with, even agents, some of them, the value in my work. And they will be like, listen, this motherfucker is a fucking hustler. He's not going to stop. And he's going to be the next big thing. So you want him? Start working with him now. Otherwise, you're not. He's just going to get his shit done. And that's what happened. Some of the people that believed in me at that time started working with me, started helping me out. And today I'm so thankful to those individuals that they helped me out in that time and we worked together. So as an agent, if you're getting into the industry, you want to work with investors or anyone, You got to find the people that you want to work with. Don't hesitate reaching out to individuals on Instagram, Facebook, social media platforms. Learn from other agents, learn from brokers, learn from investors. Because I'm telling you, you never stop learning. Till date, there's some people that I call almost once or twice a week just to pick their brain to learn about what the trend is, where the market is going. Because listen, I don't know everything, man. I got the hustle. I can knock on a door. I can sweet talk. I can close deals. But there are still people up there that know their shit way better than I do, and I need to learn from them. So always be open to learning.
Absolutely. So let's we talked about how to meet the investor. So just one quick question. When we talk about networking events, what do you mean by that? I mean, is that going to a realtor event? Is that going to a dinner? Is that going to a banquet? What does a networking event look
So
like, and what's it
that's a
compared?
great
What compares of?
that's a great question. So when I say networking events, I'm not talking about going and taking fucking pictures of food items and putting it on social media. You know what I'm saying, bro?
I know
That's
exactly what
not
you're
what I'm
saying.
saying. That's not what I'm saying. When people go for these networking events and they're like, hey, I went here today, the sushi, coffee. Fuck that. What I'm talking about is hardcore dinners where conversations are going to be had about success, where conversations are going to be had about growth, where you're gonna meet brokers, agents, buyers, sellers, mortgage lenders, everybody. That's all strictly business. So find the networking events which are hosted by top leaders, which you know mean business, not the ones where you go and you're doing jumping jacks, push ups, or stress relief activities where they're making you do fucking throw a ball around. I don't believe in any of that, bro. I believe in networking events where you go, like I've been invited to a couple of like 20, 30 people dinners. I've been invited to networking masterminds in like little suites and stuff where some of them worked, some of them were stupid. They're recruiting events where they're trying to fucking brainwash agents to do. And listen, I do think hiring and having masterminds is a very beneficial thing to show your value as a broker, as an agent, to build a downline. That's great. But I honestly believe if you want to go for networking events, they have to hold value in your success. Not for Instagram, not for pictures, but more for success and learning. To be noticed. When you're new, you want to be noticed and in the right way. Not to fucking, not to be noticed to just to be able to go out and drink, more be noticed to like, yo, I got a deal. Like I'll give you a small example. A lot of times when I got into the when I was new in the industry, I would go for these things. And sometimes they would see the hustle that I had. And I made it very clear to people I'm not in it for the money. Money I got. What I'm in it for is learning so I can grow my business because day one, I knew I wanted to make the investments. I wanted to connect with the top builders, top developers, top brokers. So they would still in the early on in my career be like, listen, man, I got this deal. I love what you're saying, how you're doing. I love how you're talking to people. I'll split this deal with you. And I'm talking big time brokers would just be like, I'll split this deal with you. Why? Because I was at a networking event which held value. I was at a dinner, lunch, call, invite people, reach out to people on Instagram. I am telling you, every top broker or agents, top producing agents, if you reach out to them that really do care about their success and growth of others, not just about building a downline, uh, if you reach out to them on social media as a newer agent and you're like, hey man, they would 99.9% of the time be like, no problem, dude. Meet me. Let's sit and talk. That is where you start. They'll go tell their friends about you. They'll tell that's how I got invited to most of the things after 7 or 8 months of being in real estate was where people are like, yo, we heard about you. You're fucking crazy. You're trying to get all these deals. Yeah, I think in my first 7 months, I had 11 deals locked in. So they were like, come in, see us, talk to us. When they saw that, that's where it started going, man. You got to
Right.
put yourself out there.
Right, right. So all right. So let's talk about the deal itself. Okay. Now, we don't run into deals every day. It might take us 10, 15, 20, 30 deals or 30 possibilities before we reach one. So let's break down a deal, man. Let's go from A to Z. So when you're gonna when you're gonna look when you're looking for a deal, what are you looking for, and what's the approach look like?
Okay, so there's different ways of looking for deals. There's different areas. First thing we do is we get, as I said, we look for distressed properties. We look for homes, not just. I'm not big on foreclosures and short sales. I literally look for homes in my team in areas which we see homes need work. Top sales have happened in areas where homes are distressed, all that stuff. Then we get the zip codes out. Our team of cold callers calls. Mostly, once we see the homes, I'm the one that gets on the phone and closes the deals. Once we get to the property, I usually like to go face to face. I think I mentioned before I could be going for dinner with my wife. We could be in the car, and she's a champ. She'll be dressed in heels, looking sexy as ever, and we'll be in the car, and I'll see a home, and I'll be like, I gotta go run and knock on this door. Like, all right, go ahead, it's fine. And I go and knock on the door, and I'll chit chat. But my approach is never, hi, my name is Ankur Kapoor. I'm a real estate agent. Well, my approach is never, hi, I have buyers looking in the area. Personally, I find that absolutely useless because every agent has used it, and individuals are not looking at giving you their property when you're a generic agent going and just pitching the same thing. So my approach is always, hey, I was driving past, I was going for dinner, or like you said to me that day, you were jogging, right? You're
Yeah,
jogging. Hey man,
yeah,
I live in the area. I'm sweating my balls off right now, but I just want to, I'm like, I just wanted to come and reach out and see if you or anyone you know is looking at selling. I myself am an investor. Work with investors. We could pick it up within a heartbeat. Not trying to push you into it, but if you have any interest, here's my number. Boom. Not even. Honestly, I don't even carry a business card to make it seem so natural that I wasn't even trying. Can I write my number down for you real quick? Can I get your number so I'll shoot you a text? Now, if there's any interest in them selling you their property, they will hunt. And I've got not one, not two. We've sometimes been at 6, 7 deals a week with stuff like this, where it's you're literally the most honest individual walking through a neighborhood, knocking on a door, but always got to look for distressed properties. You're looking, a lot of times people will look at you and be like, are you an idiot? Look at my property. I just did renovations on it. I just worked on it. What are you going to sell it to an investor for? It's not an investor. So many times, individuals have come up to me and sent me pictures of properties and been like, "This property is for an investor special." I look at the property; it's already the work is done, unless
yeah.
it's. So my investors are not going to buy it because they're not going to be able to make money on it because this individual wants to sell it at MLS price, not at an off-market price. So my deal breakdown is find a distressed piece of property, cold calling, and door knocking, number one ways of getting it. Number two is mailers. Number three is texts. But number one, cold calling, door knocking, go door to neck to neck. For me, door knocking works better than cold calling, but I know some killers out there that cold calling works for them like magic. Magic. Like they could get on the phone, man. They could convince you to sell whatever. They're those amazing guys. They don't even have to convince you. They'll just talk to you. So the first thing is getting on them on the phone, being natural, honest, and letting them know if there's any interest. Otherwise, have a great day. I'm still there for you if you need me, but whatever. Now, the on the phone, the rate is not that high, but when you're face to face and you can really show them that you mean business. And honestly, believe it or not, I tell my people that I work with, go casual. Don't dress up in a suit. Don't wear when you go for stuff like that. You could be wearing shorts, sneakers, a t-shirt, and a nice watch. Just look like you have something on you, though. Don't go looking like a bum, but go cash. Go talk to them. Then when we look for properties, as far as door knocking, cold calling, distressed properties, then we do a walkthrough, knowing if the property is even worth us taking to the investors. We tell the clients honestly once we get to their home, listen, I'll break a deal down I just did 2 days ago in Brick, New Jersey. So my cold callers gave me a lead in Brick, like I get all the time, and they were like, "There's a piece of property that's available in Brick. The it needs a little bit of work. From the outside, it looks like that. We don't know if it looks like an investor special." They got the guy's number. I called the guy. I was in PA, in our house. Drove an hour and 40 minutes. 2:30 p.m. Got there, met him. But when I walked in, I was again. This is me all the time, man. You won't find me in a fucking suit. This is how I go for all the meetings. I get there, I meet the guy. I'm like, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. This is not for an investor. I was like, what are you looking at? He gives me a number he's looking for. I was like, why are you wasting your time looking for investors when you have a gem in your hand? I was like, go to any real estate agent. You can go with me. I'm licensed. If you don't want to go with me, you can Google a real estate matter, sir. But I'll be very honest to you. This is not for an investor. None of my investors are going to buy this property at the price you're asking, and you shouldn't sell it less than this because this home doesn't need any work inside. You
Right.
know? You know what he says to me right away? He's like, what do you think you can sell it for? He was looking for a number. I told him he could get at least 40 to 50,000 over that. The guy didn't know. I said, but who am I to tell you this? Like, you can list it and you'll see where the market is. He's sitting in the heart of Brick and the border of Point Pleasant, bro. So
Yep.
that's like a great fucking location. And I was like, listen, you don't have to use me, bro. I always show them my Instagram page and my stuff. Like, this is what I do. I specialize in off market. I list homes all the time, but I'm not a bullshitter. This is me. The guy goes, I don't want to list it with anyone else. When can you, he goes, when can you send me the contract? I was like, I can send you the contract in the next hour. And in the next 2 hours, I had him sign a contract with us. That's our listing now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's the
transparency.
thing is you didn't go there for the listen. You went there to be honest and not pull any punches at all.
No. And honestly speaking, it wasn't for an investor, but I still got a listing. A lot of times I tell individuals that call me and they're talking to me about how do we get off market deals. I'm doing nothing which no one can do. I don't think anyone can do it better than me, I'll be honest to you, because I am very good at talking all the time. I love talking. So I but and I'm very confident. I'm not, as I said to you before, like I'm not cocky, but I'm confident at what I do, and I do believe in the fact that I want to be the best at what I'm doing because I have a very good team. I have great individuals around me. I have very strong investors that mean strictly. My investors have held me down every time. I'm talking about the fact about like to the point where they're like, bro, if this property is gonna go and you're there, don't even call us. He's like, just get it done right now. Just get it done. Just get the do it. You have this much limit. Do it for us right now.
Okay. So you find the deal, you go and you talk to the guy, you find that it is an investment, right? And so so you've got a deal, getting ready to work, you're ready to make an offer. What's next? You've got to go find the investor. For you, you've got a bunch of investors that you work with. What about
Yeah.
with someone like me? Let's just say me, I'm just going out there getting started and I don't have investors to work with. How do I find an investor, or how do I start working and start this process going so I can start building it for myself?
Yeah. You just find me, bro. I got you. I'm kidding. No, but how you do it is you have to see. It takes a couple of deals to close it. It takes a little while to build those investors. Because I'll
Right.
tell you honestly, investors will work with any investor's agent. There's loyalty is only a deal, bro. Like my
Right.
investors, I love my investors. I keep feeding them is the reason they work with me. If you tomorrow get a deal and go to them, they're going with you, bro. They're not going with me. It's there, and I tell them that when it comes to business, the only loyalty is don't fuck me on my deal. That's all I say. Cause you fuck me on my deal, I'm gonna fuck you on your deal, straight up. That's how I roll. Business is business. Now, if I'm pitching you a deal, it's our deal. If I can't, if Dan got there before me and got you that deal, you got to go with him. He hustled for that deal. So what? It's not about finding the investors. Everyone has got the money. It's about finding the deals. Once you have a deal in your hand, you can call and you could literally, to start your career, post a good off-market deal on Instagram, Facebook. Reach out to any agent saying, bro, I got an exclusive off-market and I can't give you anything unless I sign an NDA. Or if you trust the agent, which we work a lot on trust, and you tell them, I will give you this deal, but this is what we're gonna work on. Now you say you get a deal for 300,000, you locked it in. The ARV $600,000. The home only needs about $80,000 rehab. Now your client can make a buck 50 or two. You and your guy can make a good 20, 25,000 each on a small deal like that and walk away. You know what I mean? So once you get the good deals, there's no shortage of end for investors. You could reach out to any agent, you could put it on any investment platform, the investors will be lined up. Now, the part of getting investors to work with you on a regular basis where they're texting you, like I get those messages now, which a lot of great agents do, good agents do, that, hey buddy, you got anything nice? Hey bro, you got anything nice? Hey, I gave your number to one of my guys, he's looking for investments, I told him you're the guy, I told her you're the guy. To get to that level, you have to bring a few deals. So it's not about the people or the investors or the money, it's about the product. It's like any business, whether you're in the restaurant industry, if your food is good, you're going to be successful. You could have the best location in the world. If your food is shit, then clients will stop coming. It's like dealing drugs. If your weed is good, if your shit is good, bro, people are going to come to you. It's like doing what we do in real estate. If your product is good, if your off-market deals are good, if you're putting yourself out there the right way, then definitely individuals will start reaching out to you. But one thing I tell a lot of people I see doing, and I love every agent out there, no bad blood. I have no bad blood with anybody. But I still say one thing, which is social media is your resume in real estate. It is what people look up, believe it or not. First thing people look up in this day and age when you start working with them is you'll pull that person up on Instagram or Facebook. Before it used to be LinkedIn and stuff. Now, Instagram is where they pull you up now. I've had 75% of my deals are referrals on Instagram. No jokes. My Watchung listing was Instagram. Most of my work, my off markets, my partners right now in legacy property are all through Instagram. I met them. Now we're business partners. So a lot of agents just need to understand this. Perception is reality. But be able to back your perception up when it's checked. The perception that you're putting out there for people, driving nice cars, working, wearing nice shit, showing all these deals, talking about investors. So what's going to happen is that's great. What are you bringing to the table, though? I've had a lot of agents reach out to me, sending me stuff like, oh, bro, I got this off market. I got this. And this is in the beginning of when I started this. And I used to be like, my God, look at these guys. They got all these deals. Look at their social media. I started realizing after a while that it was all a show. Those deals were blasted in 40, 50 different agents. It better might as well just be on MLS. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So so when you're portraying yourself as an honest investor's agent on Instagram, there's a few out there really good ones as well. If you're putting yourself out there saying, "Hey, my name is Dana. This is what I do. I work with these guys." Work with all other, like I did that. I started working with some great investors agents in the beginning, started posting with them, talking with them, learning from them. Put it out there with some well-known names that you're working with them on your social media, so there's credibility. But at the same time, when you're putting deals out there, they have to be exclusive deals with you. If they're not exclusive, don't write exclusive. Because what happens is once you become the agent that bullshits and that doesn't have the deals, it is very difficult to build a reputation, but it's so easy to look like an idiot in our industry.
So I believe what Ankur is starting to say is you got to back up everything you're doing. You cannot bullshit. You got to be ready to rock and roll. You cannot just say you got something and you don't. You have to not only you can't take it till you make it.
You got to be able to back your business or your value, who you are up, because reputation to build it in our industry is so difficult. But to look like an idiot and for everything just to crumble is so easy. That's why I have also really filtered out a lot of the people that I used to work with, and not because they were not good or bad, because we didn't have the same mindset. You know, I can't put myself with the same people that are working on a deal, which is just in certain deals which are not my type of deals, not my line of work, not my quality of work. So therefore, I had to build my own business, my own reputation, so I'm not reflected with those individuals.
So when you talk about exclusive deals, and you mentioned NDA before. Talk to me about how you get that exclusive deal. Are you having the seller sign a deal with you that you're going to work with you? Is it a listing? Tell me about that.
So when we do off-market deals, you assign contracts, right? So you
Yep.
get a contract signed, you assign it to the buyer right away. That's nothing. But when a lot of the times what happened is, I was asked this a while ago as well. Do you leave a deposit? Do you put money down? Do you do this? Do you do that? I always tell them, no, I don't. Why? Because the deals that I pick and my team, I shouldn't say the deals that we pick, they're deals that are hot as fuck and are going to fly off the market. So we don't even have to wait 3 hours for someone to be like, I want to buy this. So my first meeting with the seller, by the time I'm in my car, I have a buyer for the deal. So my conversation with the seller is, this is the price we locked in on. I have them sign a contract with me at that, right? So now I have
Right.
24 to 48 hours to put a deposit in. Yeah,
Okay.
I have 24 to 48 hours to put a deposit in. So therefore, when we do that, we get we basically just assign the contract right away to the buyer. Sometimes it's not even a conversation over contract. The deal is so good, we take the pictures, we agree on a price with the seller, and we go again.
Okay. You mentioned before talking to other agents. You mentioned NDA. Is that a specific form that you're using, or is it just something? Hey, look, you can't give this information out. Period.
No, there's a specific form. There's a specific NDA form. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes. And with that NDA form,
So
yes.
so there's one specific form you use for as an NDA.
Yes. So NDA is signed when you have any kind of deals going on where they don't want to disclose finances to anyone. But here's the thing, to sign, by end of the day, you sign an NDA. But a lot of individuals don't realize, like, in our industry, like, trust-based business is so big that a
Yeah.
lot of the agents
Yeah.
these days, NDA is barely, I'm talking $30 million deals these days. Individuals, the trust that they have amongst each other, NDAs are like, nah, dude, just fucking go see the property. It's
Right.
fine. You can go see it.
Right.
It's okay. You have to your aim should be to get to that level of trust where you get to the point where people are, knock on wood, every single individual that I work with, going from, so my wife and I right now are working on a deal. We have a so she has a listing in Reading, which we got. Now we're working on 114 units, which we have in Reading coming up. We're gonna lease the 114 units, then put it on sale for about $24 million. All right. Now, just to give you an idea, not one NDA was signed for these properties. There were so many agents fighting for these properties. What happens is, you want to get to that level of trust that you build with other agents where they should be like, oh, it's Ankur, it's Alexis, it's Dan. Just give it to them. Let them see the property. No problem at all. But otherwise, yes, you sign an NDA.
All right, cool. So, what are some of the lessons that you've learned in your process of learning this business and being where you are now? Because obviously, you're not working with little stuff anymore. You are, but you also will do what
Everything.
you're doing, the $24 million deal. What are the biggest lessons you've learned, Encore?
The number one lesson is, this is real estate. You're not a TikTok agent. That's the number one lesson I tell everybody. You can't bullshit. People can read through your bullshit. This is the lesson that I've learned. When I told you this last time when we were shooting the shit too, bro, that honesty, integrity, and showing others that you value their assets, which is their homes, or you value their finances, which is their money, like your own. And when you do that, you are already in, bro. Your reputation is everything in this industry. I'm not saying everybody has to like you. I'm not saying everybody likes me. Some people might be like, fuck him. Some people might like me, might not. That doesn't matter. But by end of the day, I'm getting my business. And the ones that work with me know that I'm an honest individual. I will work my ass off. Hustle can never stop. Always stay hustling. Always stay calling. Always keep meeting top tier agents to learn from them. These are the lessons that I've learned. So I wake up in the morning. My wife knows this too. My mind is running. My mind is running at night. I'm always working on the next deal. I'm always working. If I'm closing, if I have 3 deals locked in right now, I'm not satisfied. I want to get 5 more locked in for the next 2 weeks. Then I want to get, so you always have to be 10 steps ahead. You always have to just keep going and going and going. And honestly, not give a fuck about what other people think, because you just got to get those deals locked in, man. And with honesty and integrity. That's it. That's what I do.
Ankur, are there any tools or skills that you had to learn or that were hard for you to evolve into?
Yes. So number one is, as a real estate agent, which is very hard for a lot of agents that I speak to as well, is lead generation. Now, a lot of times, agents think that lead generation is paying these op cities and all. No, the best lead generator is you, which was hard for me too in the beginning, which is cold calling, and
Absolutely.
which I keep preaching,
Absolutely.
cold calling, door knocking. I know it's hard, and I tell this to a lot of agents that when you're on the phone, I have someone next to me right now that can't cold call. She hates cold calling and she hates door knocking. But it takes a few times. It will take you a little while to get comfortable on that phone. But I am telling you, those are the tools that you will help you the most. Everything else is second. Get comfortable with being on the phone, get comfortable with knocking on the doors, get comfortable with consistent lead generation, which is the number one tool in our industry,
It
which is
sure
the
is.
most difficult and the easiest said tool. And I beg every agent, I honestly, and it's not just on a podcast. If you go on my page, I've done uh, videos on this, that clients don't want to see us posting about or about how good the food is at a restaurant, or how good uh, the coffee is at a coffee shop, or how my neighborhood coffee shop is an amazing coffee shop and you should go there. This is my feedback. And if it's, people want to take it or not. When clients look you up on your social media, they want to see your network, they want to see your hustle, they want to see your business, and they want to see your backing. That's all they want to see. They don't want to see you sipping your coffee. They don't want to see all that. And I stress on that a lot, brother, is because I have seen some agents make a transition from doing those TikTok or whatever you want to call it, those influencer videos, to now going to uh straight up like real estate based videos, talking about profit and losses, talking about what value they can bring to their clients. Their business has skyrocketed. My boy Greg, I want to give him a big shout out on this. Greg Sly is a kid, is a guy that I've worked with. We were trying to close a deal together, but he was with another brokerage before. All it was, they were a lot of videos and stuff, which is great. He moved to another brokerage about a few months ago and started taking this content seriously. And I used to tell him, I'm a straight shooter. I would tell him to his face, bro, what the fuck are you doing? This is not for you. Now, my guy is doing content. His business, not only has his business doubled, I would never reach out to anybody like that for a deal. Now, when I have people in the 30 to $40 million bracket for deals, I call him because I know he doesn't have it, but I know his network does. I've seen the people he's sitting with.
So just I want to clarify something, because one of the things that's really important for a lot of residential agents is that they show the human side of themselves, lifestyle, so to speak, right? Are you saying that for is this is for the investment side, when you're going to work investment and off market and stuff? That's not something you really want to do on your regular page. Is that your regular account?
No, what I'm saying is, even if you're an end user agent, if you're an investor's agent, if you're a specializing listing agent, if you're a what you should be doing is, every agent, including myself, put personal stuff on your page. Put a couple of people need to know you got a family too. People need to know you're a warm motherfucker. You go out for drinks and food and shit. But your page should not only be about fucking how the cup of coffee at Costa Coffee was or how that was. They need to see that Dan and Ankur are also closing deals. Or, all right, you know what? Ankur has been in the industry for 6 months, hasn't had one deal. But look at Ankur hustling with the right people every day. Ankur has the network. Ankur hasn't closed the deal, but Ankur has a great network. Showcase that. Showcase your network. Showcase your value. Speak on your videos about how good you are at selling, how good you are at buying, how good you are at saving people money, how good you are at negotiating. Make reels content with your agents in your office about
Got
how
it.
you would a dummy negotiation instead of making a video about jumping in yo, bro, I seen videos these people jumping in hot tubs and twerking. How the fuck are you gonna get business from this? Tell me that. How are you gonna get business from this?
I hear you, man. I mean, that's why I asked the question about, clarifying it, because I mean, you've got to also show I believe you have to show some of the human side of yourself, but it cannot overtake the page. I mean, for me, look, people who know me, they know I love food, and they know I love to play golf. So I mean, food and golf, that's my big thing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not making. I mean, rarely will I post pictures of a lot of food. But if it's fucking awesome, I might post it. I might be guilty of that, Ankur. I just might be guilty of that. So anyway, so being straight.
No, but listen, here's the thing though. Here's the thing, bro. You put golf. I put smoking a cigar. I'll put a dinner. I'll put a date night with my wife. I'll put my daughter, my son. I'll do all that. But you know what I do? You know what I do with that? Like you do? Show your value in conversations. Show your value in real estate. What happens is people need to see a personal side to you and I. You know what? Can you see me?
Yeah, I see you. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah. People need to see a value in people need to see a personal value in you and I. People need to see that we're not stone-hearted fucking people that just care about money. But at the same time, people need to see that we know real estate, that we know what we're talking about, So those are the things I beg every agent, put golf, put parties, put this, but don't make your page only about that shit. And do not twerk in hot tubs. Nobody wants to work with you, bro.
Hey man,
don't do that. Stop.
This has been awesome, man. I want to thank you so much for
My
your
brother.
honesty, for your clarity and everything you've done. I'm really excited about our conversation. I'm also excited about what you and I will do next as we move forward.
Absolutely. You and I gotta meet. We got some shit to do, bro.
Yes, and we absolutely will. I'm gonna connect with you next week. I want to thank you so much for being on.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me, my brother. Thank you.
You're welcome. And as I said earlier, next week is a big week for us. It's 7 years doing this, 364 weeks in a row. We have my good friend and a marketing and sales guru, Grant Wise, coming on to talk to us about this. He has been on this broadcast, the anniversary broadcast, for 4 years in a row. He is a good friend of mine. I learned a lot from him. He's a great guy. We're gonna have him next week. Ankur, I got two things, and then we're gonna be done. Number one, what can I do to help you grow your business? What can I do for you to help you grow your business?
Give me that hat, bro. I want that hat.
You got it. You got that coming to you. Hey, man, just stay on for a minute after we go out. Everybody, thanks so much. We got Grant Wise coming on 7 years next week. Thank you so much. God bless everybody. Nelson, hit it.